Yes, sir. Comic book or the sixth element of hip hop. What up, y'all? Sixth Element of Hip Hop here. I am your host, Reno Noir, and we do have a great show for you tonight. Got a couple guests. Well, not a couple guests. We got one guest. We got a couple guests. A couple unexpected guests might fly through. We don't know, but just fucking with you. We do have a good show tonight, though. It is DC Power Hour. That's how we get down every Saturday. We talk about DC Comics, DC, updates, news, fun movies, and we talk about comics. We talk about animation. We talk about films. We talk about TV shows. We talk about the new DCU, and just whatever's hot, whatever's popping, whatever's going down. That's how we do. Tonight we got a good show. And speaking of Mr. Keaton, as you see from the subject title, direct canon sequel to the 89 Batman. Yes, you read that right. It's called Batman Resurrection. It's confirmed. It is a canon sequel. So get your spectacles out. It's good shit. And we got the Invincible AAA video game that's being worked on right now. That it could be dope. It could be very, very dope. We just had a little unboxing earlier. If you guys saw that, we did a little pop-up video. We unboxed Scarlett. And tonight we will talk a little bit about the new Scarlett comic that's coming out. And check out the latest of what's hot or what's going on right now and what we are reading on Sixth Element. Weapon X-Men #2, Ultimate Spider-Man #3 is here. We've got Duke #4, Cobra Commander #3. I feel like we should be farther along. And Real American Hero, G.I. Joe 305 or 5, depending on the continuity that you're following. Yeah. And I think Raw Talk is coming here. We'll be here in a moment. But yeah, just getting right into it. After 32 years, it's been Michael Keaton's Batman is finally returning in an official canon sequel to the original Tim Burton movie. And you're saying, Reno, they already had one. It's called Batman Returns, starring Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer. And you'd be right. That was the sequel to the Batman 89 movie, the sequel, as it were. I mean, it was the second movie. It wasn't a direct sequel. Definitely wasn't a canon sequel. It didn't follow like any of the story. There were some callbacks, but mainly it was like, oh, that's the same guy playing Batman. Other than that, it was a very different story and stuff, but it was still cool. I mean, of course, one of my favorites. I really liked it a lot. Batman Returns, but Michael Keaton's Batman, remains the most fans' favorite. Everyone has their favorite, but the most common favorite silver screen iteration of Batman. And many have followed, of course, some greats like Val Kilmer and George Clooney, who are great actors. Just terrible movies. Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, horrendous. The only bad Batman movies I was just talking about this with Raw Talk earlier. I was like, yo, like Batman is fucking hit after hit. There is no miss. I mean, Batman movies are always good. They never fail. They're always great. And that's true. They do never fail, but they're not always great. There are two that suck bad, and it's Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. But Christian Bale, obviously, the Dark Knight trilogy, phenomenal. Ben Affleck, it's okay. DC Universe. And then, of course, Robert Pattinson, the one. And Robert Pattinson, I think, to me, is the most in line with Keaton and you're saying, what the fuck are you talking about, Reno? Well, here's what I mean. When Keaton was cast as Batman, everybody was like, what? Mr. Mom? Like the comedian, Michael Keaton? What? Okay. Nobody was really confident in that. And the same thing with Robert Pattinson. Everybody's like, the Twilight kid? Get the fuck, come on, Twilight. And they both turned out to be phenomenal. Happy 420, by the way. Cheers. They both came out great. The Burton verse, though, the Tim Burton Batman verse of Gotham wields an inexplicable charm, as well as grapple hooks and smoke bombs, but it does continue to be revered by fans. I mean, it's still held in regard as the favorite by many. Keaton is my favorite Batman. Jack Nicholson, hands down, is my favorite Joker. Heath Ledger's great. Heath Ledger's Joker was cool. It was really interesting. But if I want to go more to my iconic Joker, from the comics, Joker looking like Joker, seeming like Joker, acting, looking, feeling like Joker, I think Nicholson, kills it. He's got the little Cesar Romeo in there. He's got his Nicholson in there. He's just can't fuck with it. But you've got animation, you've got video games, live action. Everybody has their favorite version of Bruce Wayne, Batman. Kevin Conroy, is easily the best voice actor to play Batman in any animated anything. But there's something about Michael Keaton's portrayal that's so magnetic. His version of the character is obviously it's adored by fans, but that wasn't always the case. I mean, like I said, he was very controversial at the time, but because like his Batman definitely walks a fine line between serious and camp, right? And that's Tim Burton too. I mean, the whole Batman '89, Tim Burton movie, before it went straight pure camp, it was a nice line between serious, realistic and campy, which was the TV show. And Batman's always been camp. Like, I hate to break it to a lot of fans that think of Batman as this dark, black suited, night stalking vigilante. He was always, since the 50s anyway, since the comics code, since he stopped killing people, which his original iteration did, and the comics code, he became a campy, funny, goofy. I mean, you saw the TV show, the 1960s television show. Very silly and fun and goofy, and the bleak and brooding undertone that later is seen in movies like Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight and Matt Reeves' The Batman, can definitely pay that that they can owe that to '89 Batman. And while Keaton's incarnation may operate in a sort of fantastical, fancy world, whimsical world, albeit dark, that Tim Burton creates, his Bruce Wayne is his and the secret to playing Batman, by the way, is playing a great Bruce Wayne. And his Bruce Wayne is entirely believable, in stature. He's not a beefcake. He's not a, or a trained ninja, right? He's not Christian, so he's just a seasoned, guy out there. He's not, a shredded hulking menace like Batfleck. He's just, he's Batman. And that said, Keaton is no less menacing, as the alleyway stalking vigilante. I mean, it starts off perfectly showing the bad guys, and how there's like this rumor, about this bat creature that stalks the night and goes after bad guys, and they're literally scared of him. And then like he comes and basically instills fear in the bad guys, and that's his whole shtick. That's what his whole bag that he really, that's what he does. And Burton's quasi gothic 1989 movie might be like a love letter to Adam West's tenure as Batman. Being far more monstrous successor, Jack Nicholson's Joker is definitely channeling some serious Cesar Romero vibes. But Batman '89 is the first time that Batman went from excuse me, I need a drink of water. that went from like, friendly neighborhood Cape Crusader to Dark Knight on the big screen, at least, because Frank Miller's 86 graphic novel, The Dark Knight Returns, had sort of already broken that mold 3 years before, but only 3 years before. And it's also worth noting that Tim Burton's Batman and its direct sequel, Batman Returns, are widely recognized for paving the way for those darker iterations of the character. I mean, it's the first time he was wearing all black. And the Dark Knight trilogy, the Batman, and while those films are very different from Burton's style, and tone, opting for like a more grounded, realism in a way of the character, you could argue that they owe everything to the 89 Batman, the first dark superhero movie. Because, before that, superhero movies were never dark. And Keaton then reprised his role in the second movie, Batman Returns, this time facing off against Danny DeVito as the Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. I mean, come on. You went from Nicholson as Joker, DeVito and Pfeiffer as Catwoman. These movies were just phenomenally cast. Just Hollywood was different, man. It was fucking different. And it was different. Batman, I don't care what you say. Batman 89 was the first summer blockbuster. It was the first movie that was like just went mania. Not counting Star Wars. Star Wars doesn't count. Star Wars is a phenomenon, not a movie. But yeah, in the decades since, Keaton's Batman has been continually pushed further into the past by all these different reboots. And while, Tim Burton's two films did technically get sequels, which were the Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, Keaton definitely didn't come back into the shadows after his 92 outing, hanging up his whole cape and cowl for good, seemingly at the time, so that another actor could take up the mantle, and he was done. He was good. Really, Keaton was done because Burton was done. Keaton was like, if Burton's not doing it, I'm not doing it. That's just plain and simple. And he was very, very smart for doing that, because Joel Schumacher, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. But, he gave the Batmobile's keys to Val Kilmer, who he gave them to George Clooney, and it was a clusterfuck. It was horrible. But since then, we've had several Batman movies: Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Returns, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and The Batman, along with a bunch of different entries that have featured the Batman as a supporting character, like the Suicide Squad, the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League cut, The Flash, where Keaton even was there, and Keaton comes back, and reprises his role there. But it's not, in any way a sequel to the Burtonverse. So now we find out that it's been revealed that an official sequel, this is an official canon sequel featuring the Batman that Michael Keaton made popular, that Batman, is in development, as the Star Wars novelist John Jackson Miller is currently penning Batman Resurrection with Penguin Random House. And, he's got a little interview here. He said, there are dream projects, and then there are projects you never dreamt were possible. This is the latter. People always ask what world I wanted to get the chance to write in. I never named Tim Burton's take on Batman because I never imagined it could happen. But editor Tom Holler found a way. And this it's a novel called Batman Resurrection, and it comes right at the end, comes right off the end of Batman 89. So Joker's dead, Jack Napier falls to his death, and it picks up right there in the aftermath of his death. And the upcoming novel is not the only follow-up to Burton's Bat flicks. That honor definitely goes to the Batman 89 graphic novel series or comic series from DC Comics that has been really, really dope, which takes place after Batman Returns. So it picks up after the sequel, right? The Penguin and the Catwoman movie, right? That's where the comics pick up. But there's nothing between those two movies that binds them or that links them or that really makes them seem like they came from the same thing, and this will fill in that gap. This will bring it will come right in between the two movies. Batman 89, you've got Keaton as Batman, and that of many other different characters in the films, for Michelle Pfeiffer, and then we got Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent, Jerry Hall as Joker's girlfriend, Alicia Hunt, Pat Hingle as Gordon. But the author of the book says, whereas the DC 89 Batman comics are set after the Tim Burton films, I chose to make Batman Resurrection a direct sequel novel to the 89 movie. And meaning characters ranging from Vicky Vale and Alexander Knox to Max Schreck and Selena Kyle from Batman Returns can appear in the book. And, in the films, Vicky Vale, Alexander Knox, Max Schreck, Selena Kyle are played by Kim Basinger, Robert Wall, Christopher Walken, Michelle Pfeiffer, respectively. And, they round out that cast. But the movie, or the sequel, rather, in this direct sequel to Tim Burton's iconic 89 Batman movie, Bruce Wayne, Batman, faces a new threat. And the thing reads, the Joker is dead but not forgotten. Gotham City is saved, but is still not safe. By night, this new symbol of hope, Batman continues to fight to protect the innocent and the powerless. By day, his alter ego Bruce Wayne wonders whether there may be some day be. Hold on, let me get somebody typed it wrong. All right. The Joker is dead, but not forgotten. Gotham City is saved, but is still not safe. By night, this new symbol of hope, Batman, continues his fight to protect the innocent and the powerless. By day, his alter ego, Bruce Wayne, wonders whether there may be someday but a future beyond the skulking of the city's rooftops or cavernous halls of this stately manor alongside the ever-dutiful Alfred Pennyworth. But even after death, the clown prince of crime's imprint can be seen in more than just the pavement. Remnants from the Joker's gang are leading wannabes fascinated by his bizarre mystique on a campaign of arson that threatens the city. Even as it serves greedy opportunists, including millionaire Max Schreck, and survivors of the exposure to the Joker's chemical weapon, Smilex, continue to crowd Gotham's main hospital. Just a second, I want to chime in. I always wondered what happened with the whole thing with the Smilex. I mean, all these people got fucked up with this chemical, and they sort of never told like what the aftermath of that was. So that will be interesting. It continues. To quell the chaos, Batman needs more than his cape and well-stocked utility belt. Batman is forced into action, promoting a partnership with a charismatic scientist to help solve the health crisis. But as he works in both the shadows and the light, Bruce finds himself drawn deeper into Gotham's turmoil than ever before, fueling his obsession to save the city, an obsession that has already driven a wedge between him and Vicky Vale. The loyal Alfred, who had hoped Bruce's efforts as Batman could help him find closure, finds the opposite happening. Nightmares begin to prompt Bruce to ask new questions about the climactic events in the cathedral, and investigations by Commissioner Gordon and reporter Alexander Knox into the arsons only amplify his concerns. Having told people of the Gotham City that they'd earned a rest from crime, Batman finds the forces of evil growing ever more organized and orchestrated by a sinister hand behind the scenes. So there is a big bad. It's not just Joker's old gang, because that would be boring. The world's great detective must solve the greatest mystery of all. Could the Joker have somehow survived? And could he still have the last laugh against the people in Gotham? So I guess they play it like there's someone out there, and they're sort of taking Joker's place. They seem to be acting as Joker. Uh, is it the Joker? So I guess we'll find out. Sounds a little bit like a couple of Batman stories, like animated stories, especially that they've done in the past. But definitely unique. Now, a lot of whether or not Keaton will ever return again to play Batman on screen after the Flash remains to be seen. I don't see it happening anytime. I don't see it happening because he's not getting any younger. He's getting older. He's not going to be able to play Batman much longer, if even at all. And he could play like I would love to see him do an old man Batman, like like a Frank Miller Batman. That would be sick as fuck. But I digress. We've got the DCU, and then we've got Elseworlds. So DC, they've got the James Gunn's universe, which he will be using to make a Batman Brave and the Bold series, which will have its own actor playing Batman that we've not seen before. Nobody that it's not been announced. No one knows who it's going to be. And then you've got the Elseworlds universe that DC is making films in, which contains movies like The Batman or Joker, the Harley Quinn, the musical, and all that stuff is all in the Elseworlds banner. And that's the Battinson. So that's two Batmans right there. I don't think they want to have a third live action Batman. They should not. But last year he did come back. Keaton did come back after 31 years and play Batman, donning the cape and cowl in The Flash, a movie that I wish didn't even happen. That was just but save for the Keaton coming back, that was just pretty cool. You also have Ben Affleck in there, and his version of the character anyway, and a little cameo from George Clooney as Bruce Wayne in there. It's obviously a real sequel or anything to the Burton films. It's also impossible to establish whether Michael Keaton's Batman is the original Batman or if it's just another universe with a guy that looks just like him, because of the multiverse nature of the whole thing. But The Flash does acknowledge that the events from those two films happened, and while also explaining that the two Joel Schumacher entries are multiversal variants of some sort, implying that the Keaton or the Tim Burton universe is somehow connected to the DCU at the time. But Batman and Robin wasn't just a box office disappointment either. It was like $238 million budget and made like 125,000 million rather. But it was hated by audiences, so much so that director Joel Schumacher and George Clooney later issued public apologies. I'm serious. They literally apologized publicly. The movie's that bad. It's really bad. But The Flash didn't fare any better. Grossing $271 million against its $220 million budget, which is not, that's not considered a success by any means, and was trashed by critics and audiences. But Keaton first reprised his role as Batman in the Batgirl in the DC movie, DC Universe movie, starring Leslie Grace as Batgirl, that was famously canceled by Warner Brothers in 2022. So he's done it before, and The Flash wasn't the only time. Unfortunately, though, with a new DC universe now to be unraveled, Keaton's return, it's probably not going to happen, on film anyway. But recently on the Happy is one of these podcasts, they were asked if he'd ever find himself in playing the role again, and he said, I don't think about it much. Never say never. I don't think. Everything depends on something else. And he's right. There's no way to. What are you gonna do? But it's unlikely that he's gonna return. In the DC universe, the DCU that's being spearheaded by James Gunn. If he did, it would be a simple cameo and a multiversal cameo for fan service. It wouldn't have any. It wouldn't be. But yeah, they're rebooting Batman. Of course, for that, it's going to be the Brave and the Bold with Damian Wayne and a bunch of cool characters and shit. It's going to be hopefully good. So we'll see. And then, of course, in other media, Batman media, we do have the Joker Folie à Deux coming up, where Batman is not expected to appear. Although Bruce Wayne, young child version of Bruce Wayne, was in the first Joker movie, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was something of the Wayne family or some nod to Batman in some other way in this movie as well. And then the upcoming HBO series, The Penguin, which is going to basically be a gangster show, like Sopranos meets Batman, but without Batman. Batman won't be in it. You'll see Colin Farrell as Cobblepot as the Penguin, same we saw him in the movie, but the theatrical sequel to the Batman Part 2, we'll see Robert Pattinson return as Batman, of course, or Battinson as he is commonly known, and that'll be October 2nd, 2025. So. The first film grossed almost $1 billion. It was $772 million against like a $200 million expense. So that's a massive hit. They made $500 million. That's considered a hit. So, but later this year, Tim Burton and Michael Keaton will reunite for Beetlejuice. They will be doing movies again. They're doing Beetlejuice 2. So Keaton and Burton will be working together. That's for sure. Where's everybody? Black Heroes Club, what up? Raw Talk. Okay. Yo, I'm just seeing what up with Raw Talk. Raw Talk will be in a moment. Yeah, Skybound Entertainment. Sorry about that. Skybound Entertainment. What do you call it? Is the same guys that make these comics that I read, Duke and Cobra Commander. They've got Destro and Scarlett are the next titles that they're about to put out. But Skybound Entertainment has announced that it's in the process of developing a AAA video game based on Invincible. As Invincible has become, more popular over the past few years, obviously with the show primarily, a AAA game in the past would have been already, a no-brainer, but these days where they don't really like to do licensed movie games as much anymore, for good reason. They are going to go ahead and do one for Invincible. I think it'd make a good one if they do it right. And now Skybound has announced that it's internally working on such a project and has launched a crowdfunding campaign to assist with its creation. Over on Republic, Skybound today launched its new fundraising campaign that is going to run through till the end of April. Previously, Skybound said that it raised $18 million in funds, and the company is now looking to raise another $5 million. Currently, this crowdfunding round has seen nearly $450,000 brought in. which has already cleared the minimum goal, which was 50,000. So they want between 50,000 and 5 million, and so they're in between, not quite. But yeah, as for the Invincible game itself, though, Skybound says that it is working on the game internally and has currently put together a team of roughly 30 developers who have previous experience at Epic Games, Activision, Electronic Arts, just to name a couple. And then, more details and stuff on the nature of the project really haven't been provided. But Skybound says that it plans to support the game for the long haul. And that's a big, that's important, because if you make a game and don't support it, especially nowadays, DLCs, the whole thing, you got expansions and online. So they do plan on having all that down the line, expansions, DLCs, all that. AAA gaming is games that are full big budget games. And they put out a game and like you didn't really hear about the game, but there it is in GameStop on the shelf or whatever, or you see it like, I never heard of that. It didn't have any marketing. It didn't, it wasn't really pumped or anything like that. It wasn't AAA. It wasn't a major property. It wasn't a lot of money behind it, and not a lot of development behind it, no marketing. But AAA games are your big games, right? Your big popular games that come out and they already expect them to be big, like something like Zelda or something that's automatically known it's going to be good. Also, Marvel, Star Wars games, shit like that, when they're putting out a big game and expecting it to make millions of dollars, it's a AAA game. And for its genre, this also hasn't been shared as far as like what type of game it's going to be. Like, is it going to be third person, first person? God, I hope not. Is it going to be, flying around like Superman? Is it going to be more like a Spider-Man game? But Skybound indicates that the title will contain a competitive and local play modes, which tells us nothing. But Invincible, as they say, is under a development with a team of veteran developers with decades-long careers and multiple AAA games to their credit. According to Skybound's description of the project, it says, with cutting-edge competitive gameplay, premium production values, and the most advanced online and technical foundations, Invincible will release under a premium model with a multiple DLC expansion plan and special editions designed to cater to every level of fandom. In both competitive and local play modes, the game is designed to contribute new stories to the Invincible multiverse, enabling future releases, expansions, and character arcs and adventures for years to come. That sounds good, man. By developing this game in-house, under complete control of our team of franchise stakeholders and Invincible IP creator Robert Kirkman himself, we are creating a highly coveted game that is guaranteed to have fans of the comic, the hit global TV show, and serious gamers alike wholly captivated by this first-of-a-kind Invincible experience. End quote. And given that this, Invincible game, given that this Invincible game is still in the crowdfunding phase, it seems, like it's not going to be released for many more years, at least, 5, I'd say 4, maybe something like that. Games take a while, 3-4 years, something like that. But in all likelihood, Skybound is generating funds in the first place so that it can continue building out the team that will help develop the project. As a result, don't expect any proper announcements or trailers for Invincible for this game for quite a bit. This is a very early. I'm giving you guys the early scoop. You'll start hearing about this probably in a couple of years. But whenever it does launch, though it has been indicated that it should come to all consoles and PC. We'll see. Until that time, Skybound has been, slowly expanding Invincible's presence in the video game space within the past year, with things like Invincible Guarding the Globe, which is a mobile RPG game created in tandem with Ubisoft. Invincible Presents Adam Eve also happened to release on Steam, near the end of 2023, and is a visual novel that centers around, Adam Eve. And that's what I mean. Like, these are games, but they're not AAA games. There's lots of video games. They're not all AAA. AAA means that, one of the top big games. So that'll be something. That'll be something cool. Some news about Invincible, but for the most part, it sounds interesting, I think. Speaking of the Batman 2, I mentioned a little bit ago, while we're waiting on Raw Talk to roll in. They're doing the sequel, obviously, to the Batman mega hit. And the Batman, dude, is probably, Batman 89 was my favorite Batman movie because it was like it was like I was 10 years old. It was the perfect time to, like, be captivated or whatever. Like, that movie was my Batman movie. It's my favorite always. But the Batman is if not a close second, my favorite, bro. The Batman was so dope. It was I think everything that I think a Batman movie tries to be. And it's early in his career, so people are, oh, the Batmobile was just like a car. No, well, it was a fucking machine, but yeah, it wasn't, Tim Burton and shit, but it was, and it wasn't Christopher Nolan either, but it was like his second year on the gig. He's just now become Batman. He's just learning shit, building shit. And the whole style of it, being almost like giving me, not, obviously it's not a horror movie, but it gave me kind of the vibe of like that movie Seven when they're looking in the bad guy's apartment and shit. Obviously, I think it was very much supposed to mirror that movie. But yeah, it was like Seven meets Batman, with little sprinklings of Long Halloween and some other Batman comics in there. It was great. Sadly, though, the Batman 2 was initially supposed to be released in October of 2025, which, okay, we can go another year and get it. Unfortunately, bad news. The Batman 2 has been delayed by nearly a year, pushing it back to October 6, 2026. Yes. It will be at least 2.5 years before we get to see the sequel to the movie. There better be a good reason. There should not take that long to put out a sequel. But it does mark a 4.5, 4.5 like year span between the original and the sequel, and that's, 4.5 years is a it's almost like a comeback or something, like a reboot, like, 4 years, Jesus. But the delay is not really surprising considering, Warner Brothers Pictures announcing the film, October 2025, back in January 23, 5 months before the writer's strike, and then 6 months of labor disputes in Hollywood. The film's old date, The Bride, director Maggie Gyllenhaal's reworking of Bride of Frankenstein will be released by Warner Brothers. That film stars a former Dark Knight Christian Bale, and some actresses, Annette Bening and Penelope Cruz from that. But the original plan was for Batman 2 to begin production in November 2023. But obviously, with all the strikes and bullshit, that's what pushed it back. So, but there weren't confirmed reports that the film, began shooting already in March. But March came and went, and there was no response or that was happening. But the insider Jeff Snyder, claims that the Batman 2 will start filming in April, or I guess started filming this month here. But oh, what are they? Oh no, they're talking about, they're talking about next year. Yeah, they're talking about they're not even going to start filming the Batman 2 until like a year from now, like April of 2025. because I guess they couldn't even start like writing it or working on it or doing anything. So now that they can do that, but that should still be taken with a grain of salt because it's simply too soon to say. There's no confirmation as to who the primary villain will be yet, or what's happening beyond the continued evolution of Battinson, of that early Batman. It ended with Batman seen in a more heroic light by the people of Gotham. So the sequel will presumably start with that status quo, where Batman's like a known hero. One strong possibility is that the sequel will show Batman going against Thomas Elliot, aka Hush, which I would love because Hush is like my favorite Batman comic. And Jim Lee is like my favorite artist, so it just like comes together. But a childhood friend of Bruce, it was a villain that was famous for teaming up with the Riddler after having a multiple, other villains help them battle and torment Batman using, the knowledge of his true identity. And the Batman did have the Riddler reveal that Bruce's father inadvertently caused the death of a reporter named Edward Elliot, who may very well be Hush's father. And we did see the word Hush come across the screen. It was very like, okay, like we get it. You're referencing Hush. And so very exciting. One of my favorite characters in all of Batman is Rogues. Because it was a cool mystery. It was like when you found out who it was just cool. It was really cool. Now, as far as like who might be in the Batman 2, other than Battinson, regardless, following cast members will almost, definitely be back. We'll definitely see them again. Is Jeffrey Wright, James Gordon, Andy Serkis as Alfred Pennyworth, Colin Farrell as Penguin. That's a guarantee. And then of course Farrell's also doing his HBO Max spinoff series, The Penguin, which is going to be like a chronicle of Penguin's rise to the top of Gotham's underworld, possibly lead into the sequel, right? So Batman 2 should start out with the Penguin as the boss of everything, and it'd be great to see all the villains like, in a Hush style situation where like in the comic Hush, there's, like multiple villains are in there, everybody, Poison Ivy, everybody's there. And then Zoe Kravitz could return as Catwoman. Maybe not. Catwoman may not be, but it's possible and would make sense and would be part of the Hush story and would be good because in the comics, Catwoman is Bruce's love interest. I mean, as is Batwoman is Catwoman and Batman. They get it in. So Barry Keoghan did the brief cameo as the Joker, which I don't know, dude. Like I'm gonna be honest here. I was a pretty decent fan of Paul Dano, the guy that played the Riddler. He did a good job. I wasn't like blown away or anything. It was good. Barry Keoghan. I'm not the biggest fan of Barry Keoghan. You can look him up. His name is Barry Keoghan, Keoghan. You see it, you'll recognize, and you might not know the name, but and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him. He's not like a bad actor or anything. I've liked movies that he's in. I'm just saying I'm just not like a big fan of him, so it doesn't do anything for me that he's playing Joker, if that makes sense. Like I'm not mad at it, but I'm not excited about it either. Like I couldn't give a fuck. Barry Keoghan's playing the Joker. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like who? It would be cool to have somebody, no salt on Barry, but is what it is. Just being honest here. So if they do, the Joker, it'll probably be Barry Keoghan playing him. I'm also not super a big fan of their iteration of the Joker. He looked really gnarled and crusty and like gross and like, to me the Joker's like smooth, like suave, like hella crisp and sharp, right? He's got the fly suit on, and you know what I mean? He's got the very chiseled chin and jaw. It's a very clean look. That's just iconic to me, but if they're gonna go with like a grotesque, gnarled Joker, I guess to be different. I don't know. We'll see. It'll probably be dope though, because everything else about this universe is phenomenal, and I don't see them fucking it up with that. So I'm not at all like concerned about it, but just not excited for it. Harvey Dent, Two-Face, was rumored to be the main villain of the Batman 2, with actor Boyd Holbrook, who played in Logan, said to be hired to play Two-Face. But James Gunn has debunked those rumors on Threads, saying no, it is not, straight out. But yeah, we likely will not see a trailer until around mid-2025, teaser or anything. Jeffrey Wright, one of my favorite actors, plays Commissioner Gordon, one of the dopest castings that I've seen in a long time. Stu Dog in the building. Be interesting to see who the big bad villain will be. They could make a Riddler or Punchline. Salute's got to be fighting game with a good story. AAA titles looking maybe. Oh yeah. Raw Talk in the house. Stu Dog. What up?
Sorry for the tardiness.
Oh shit.
But when your wife sends you out to get an amalgamation of food,
you get the amalgamation.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah. Crazy. Married life is crazy.
Yo, I like how I put the Joker on the thumbnail with the joint in his mouth.
Happy 420.
420. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Right.
But yeah, I was just talking about the Batman 2 and like when it's gonna drop. Like way 2026. It got delayed a whole year. Mm-hmm. So that sucks. But Jeffrey Wright, the guy that plays Gordon, one of my favorite actors, he said, "Don't hold your breath." No, he said, "You've seen as much of the script as I have at this point. I don't want to jump ahead. I just want to go forward with it. Clearly, I'm Lieutenant Gordon at the end of the film, the first film, so we may be moving up the ranks, I suppose, but I haven't seen anything yet. I'm being patient, letting director Matt Reeves do his thing, which is going to be magical and wonderful, and looking forward to diving back into it when the time comes." Yeah, so he's he was Lieutenant Gordon, so he might be,
like
captain,
captain before commissioner, yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's not gonna be straight commissioner yet. But
I think it takes a famous case in order for him to be commissioner, and I think one of the I forget how it goes. It goes in different directions, these books and movies.
Yeah.
How they interpreted how he became commissioner in the first place.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It might be a whole new story on that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about this old like old ass like photo of this of like a bearded man with like a Batman mask from like the 1800s?
Oh, well,
that they said inspired him.
Oh, I think the costume, you know how back in the day they like to do masquerade parties. So I think the Batman mask was based off of that type of party. A lot of different masks and things we see is based off something earlier.
Right.
Your average Robin mask is based off of,
Lone Ranger.
And even the Lone Ranger is based off of Zorro and all these other, guys well before that too.
Mm-hmm. Well, check this shit out.
Mm-hmm.
This shit,
It's an
uh,
executioner's mask. Look like.
is a vintage photo of a butcher, a bearded butcher, Bill Smith, in a bat mask. It was the inspiration for the Batman character. For years, like this vintage photograph of this bearded man has been circulated on the internet, claiming to be the inspiration for Batman. And we've done a little Batman related legends and urban legends and stuff before, but this one is definitely spread without much evidence around it. But the claim has a lot of different variations. Like a number of posts on Twitter claim that Wayne Bruce, a Scottish man who is descendant of a Scottish king, Robert the Bruce, was the inspiration for Bruce Wayne. The man would go on to don the Batman's mask. The problem I have with that is I know that the name Bruce Wayne is based off Bob Kane. Bruce Wayne, Bob Kane. So, but yeah, it's funny that they were posting. Little known fact: the Scotsman Wayne Bruce, descendant of Robert the Bruce, was the inspiration for the Batman comics. But according to another story attached to the photo, the man was a butcher named Bill Smith, and the photograph was taken in New York City in 1892. It says this photo was taken in 1892 in New York. It is the image of Bill Smith. He was not a rich man, philanthropist, or playboy like the fictional characters in the comics and movies. He worked in a butcher shop. Bill Smith began his personal fight against... Wait, let me let this shit load up. Against crime at the age of 43. He caught a thief who wanted to rob the store. The scoundrel tried to run away with a leg of lamb over his shoulder, but very unfortunately, he caught Smith's attention and got a good beating. Mr. Smith faced the law for this act, but was released by a sympathetic judge. The inspiration for Smith to fight on: at first, he suppressed all attempts to rob his store, and then he began patrolling the nighttime streets of New York looking for criminals. Soon, Smith conceived an unusual image for himself and commissioned a menacing mask. He needed to hide his true identity. And the press reported about the hero: all the locals have heard of this Batman. He walks the night streets, and gangsters, thieves, and drunken vagabonds keep their distance from him.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
In the age of AI, man, anything is possible, man. At this point, like you can you can tamper with time, you can tamper with history. Like
right
now we read more into it. Like coincidence, he's a vigilante with a bat mask.
That's where I'm a little bit like, nah. If it was like you said, like an executioner's mask or something completely unrelated to being a vigilante, I'd say maybe. Yeah. But yeah, that's going a little too far there.
That's like those alien pictures of people with aliens and giants.
Yeah.
You can do exactly all that stuff. Like
exactly.
You know,
fucking giants and shit. But yeah, the photo was not actually the inspiration for Batman. I searched for origins of the photo using like reverse image search, and there was a lot of posts and different articles that claimed different sources, but the photograph was on Reddit back in 2017, and it appeared on Bandcamp, and which is an audio distribution site, as a profile picture for user Dennis Kelly. The photograph also appears on the art and photography workshop Photo Marvinelli, which was founded in 2011 and appeared to specialize in editing photographs and making them appear vintage. Titled Bat Barbone, the image appears alongside the other vintage photographs of people from different time periods wearing similar masks. The Bat Barbone image description: it was printed in the dark room and treated with tannic acid and mounted in a wooden frame from the early 1900s. That's what it said, to tell you how they made it look vintage. So it's obviously a photo of someone in present day. The photo is made to look vintage by this company, and Andrea and Carlo Marvinelli of this company said that that this was their original work, that the first Bat Barbone print was made in 2012, and that they digitally manipulated original photographs sourced from the U.S. Library of Congress from the 1860s and 1890s, inserting a mask in post-production. And they also shared articles from Art Magazine and stuff like that, and shit like that, showing that, covering their work and stuff. And they said, our collective declines the theme of the fake in photography, plays with the absurd, celebrates past techniques, creates credible ancestors and faithful post-mortems. With our deliberately deceptive works, Photo Marvinelli invites the viewer to remember that images in general, by nature, trigger and shape his emotions and his understanding of the world. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it's pretty funny how shit like that gets out, rumors and shit get out on the internet, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, this is the guy that inspired Batman.
Right? Next thing you know,
right.
20 years or 40 years down the line, when we're no longer here to refute that,
right,
it becomes fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's real. It's a lot of shit that we know, that we consider fact from history, that could be completely bullshit.
Yep.
And teachers will get up there and fucking, lectures in college and fucking spit it like it's a fact when you have no idea. There's no way you could know.
Especially when, some of those individuals had checkered past that you're saying did great things.
Right. Exactly.
Sigmund Freud, cocaine addict.
Right. all kinds of shit like that. I mean, founding fathers, slave owners, all that shit.
Yeah, man.
They try to act like.
It's definitely wild. It's the wild, wild world, a mad world, I should say.
Mad world.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch that movie tonight. That's a dope movie. Oh, from the early '60s, late '50s.
Yeah, classic.
Oh shit! There she is.
It's Miss America. Hold on, it's gonna pop in focus. It's gonna pop in focus. Hold on.
I want to see the face. They gave a little bit more rosy cheeks, huh?
I think that's just the lighting, because it doesn't look like that in person. But yeah, it's a pretty good face sculpt.
Definitely dope.
Yeah, I love that. She's got a pretty good gear loadout. She's got her signature crossbow, and then I like that they put a quiver holster on her hip. That's pretty dope. And all the arrows, come out. All the bolts come out.
Nice.
And you can load them in the crossbow. And then she's got 2 rifles, which I think is excessive, and a pistol, and no holster for the pistol. So she has to hold the pistol and the crossbow at the same time. I think that's, I don't know. I don't know why they did that.
They did that to charge more money. That's all.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah. But I can fix that. I can easily just grab like a pistol holster off of a Lady J I'm not using or something, or one of the other Scarlets.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I think the
Scarlets, Black Widows. Oh, you mean the other Scarlet? Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't need them other Scarlets once you got this one, and then got Duke and Scarlet. They that's the OGs. Yep, I'm gonna paint this one.
Yep, they're gonna do the OG Stalker, right?
Yeah, what a retro Stalker card back.
Yep, it's already in the works because they already got the mold.
Right.
All they're doing is giving them a lighter camouflage and maybe a younger face.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, some of them, like the especially the eel card back. It's just a reissuing of the eel. There's nothing different
Oh,
about
there
except
is.
the cord on the fucking spear gun. It's the only thing. The cord on the spear gun is a different
No,
color.
if you look at the chest now, the eel that
Oh,
we have,
and the paint on his tank too is different. The
yep,
symbol on his tank. Yeah,
yep,
but what's on
and
it?
then
But on the chest, it looked the same to me. I thought.
it's clean. Remember, they use the same body as
Torpedo.
Torpedo.
Yeah.
And this one, they didn't use the body of Torpedo, the upper part, because if you look at it, you don't have those two vertical lines going down where the Cobra is. They don't have that.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Mm.
that's the difference. That's what they should have done in the first place.
Right. I ain't noticed that.
Yeah.
A lot of people ain't noticed that because people on Instagram talking about how the only difference is the cord.
Mhm.
And I looked at it, I looked it over, bro. I was looking for any differences, and I couldn't see it.
You could probably check it right now if you want.
Yeah,
Let's,
yeah.
let's see. Cobra eel. Because I noticed as soon as Lenny showed it, I was like, hold up.
Look, bro, he got the lines.
Hold on, let's see. Retro.
Look.
Oh, you got it up? Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold up. Oh, they fucking people over, man.
Bro, this is the same fucking figure.
Yes, it is.
Only difference is the cord is blue on the fucking spear gun instead of red. Which makes no sense. Oh, and then like I said, there's a Cobra logo on the tank on the back.
Yeah.
Other than that, I couldn't see no differences.
That's messed up.
It is messed up, I think.
And they couldn't even put red on the damn flippers like they should have.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing the retro version, why don't you add all the shit from the fucking original version? Don't make sense.
Mm-hmm. But if you want red flippers, you could switch with Torpedo.
What, Torpedo got red flippers? Oh yeah,
Yep.
he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does. Yo, that's a good idea too.
Yep.
Why the fuck have I?
It looks way better because Torpedo, he didn't have red flip stuff on his flippers.
Dog, I think somebody fucked up and they put the wrong ones.
Yeah,
I think this was fucking originally meant to be this way, dog.
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, that don't make sense to me. Like,
There's no way. That I guarantee you.
and most of his shit was orange anyway. It wasn't red.
What, the eel?
No, not the eel. The
Torpedo? Oh, right. Yep. Yeah, this is eel red, bro. This is eel red. I'm putting I'm switching because Torpedo look better with all black shits anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. How did I never even notice, bro? I mean, I never even noticed, dog. Look how much better the eel looks with the fucking red flippers. Yeah. That's what's. Get the fuck out of here. Man, y'all don't understand, man. That's crazy, bro. Look.
Yeah,
Torpedo is black and gray, and he comes with these red and black flippers that the eel is supposed to come with. Instead of all black joints. Let me put the all black joints on. Torpedo, I bet he look way cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the same mold too, so.
Oh yeah, they're identical.
Yep, way better.
Way better. Way better. And I'm gonna have to paint some torpedo too. I'm gonna paint some of these red spots on and make them black, cause or maybe orange.
Yeah,
Yeah,
orange.
yeah.
On
I'll do his OG color, orange. Yo, and I don't know why they're putting the blue cord on the eel spear gun anyway. Why would he have a blue cord?
them.
Would they just? I mean, they're just.
They're just doing shit just to make it seem like they're changing something up so it could get you to so they can get you to pay for something that you
Yeah,
already got.
but I
You already
mean,
got the eel, so that eel is retro as it is. Why you want a red Cobra backpack? Now, if we go to the original eel, the OG didn't have a red backpack.
nope.
It was black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Why the retro didn't just go full retro?
exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at the original figure, and I'm gonna probably do some paint on one of these eels. Since I got the other one, the retro one coming, I'm gonna paint that shit up to look more like the original.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's all about the money game with Hasbro to get you to pay more for the same shit.
Yep. And they've been doing that since the 80s. Like, I'm not mad at when they reuse parts and shit like that, because that's how they always did it in the 80s. Like, that was kind of the charm about these classified, that they were doing the same thing. So I'm not really mad at that when they do that. I know people get mad at that, but I don't care about that. As long as it's like makes sense. Like, it's like how they did it in the 80s. Then it makes sense. Then that's dope.
Yeah. But it's always a problem when they think the consumer is
Dumb.
dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, they really do.
You know, and they come to find out you keep acting like that. Yeah, we're gonna show you how dumb we'll get. We stop buying your shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know. That's one of the reasons why I went full O-ring, bro.
I was gonna say, you already quit.
Yeah. 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 It's a done deal.
Oh yeah.
Now, if I come into some heavy money, maybe I'll give it a second try and buy a whole collection off of somebody in the future. But at this point, nah. It's just like I'm burning the wick at both ends, because I'm doing O-ring and I'm doing classified. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I couldn't do both, man. I could not do both. And that's the thing. Like, I really wanted to. I really my intention was to, in order to sort of like decide on which O-rings to buy, was I was gonna just get whatever classified they have. I would get the classified, and then I'll get the O-ring that goes, to it. Like, okay, they got torpedo, so I get the torpedo O-ring, and I'll put them next to each other on the shelf.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good plan. In essence, I mean, the idea is a good idea, but when you try to execute it, it's very expensive, because obviously you now have to not only buy the $30 classified, but now you got to buy the $50-$60 O-ring.
Yeah.
And you can get a lot of them O-rings for like $25-$30 without the packaging, with maybe, partially complete, but it's too much for me. I can't do it. So I had to make a decision. And the reason I chose to go with classified over O-ring was it was something I knew I could start to collect with it, so that I could stay like it wouldn't just be daunting, trying, like, I just can't, I got to get it all, like, it's too much. Like, classified was something I knew I could get all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus that the accessories for the O-ring are more expensive than anything. It's not the figure per se. The figure is okay. It's moderately priced, but when you get into those accessories that come with them,
complete,
man, complete. Oh, trust me,
Not
one
trying to
little
make
gun
them
here was
complete.
$45. One little handgun
Yeah,
for like let's say Kill Hall,
right.
$45 or some shit like that.
Damn.
Yeah, man, it's
And
crazy.
that tracks because Keel Hall came with the flag.
Yeah,
You couldn't get him no other way. And so,
you
yeah.
can get them another way, but it was later on. They did it for another. It was in the 90s. I
Oh,
forget what grouping. Hold on, I got the book right here. I
I
think
don't count that shit.
like shit. I think it was something force.
I don't even count the 90s shit because like that. I mean, I don't know. Do you collect the 90s figures?
I collected
All of it? Okay.
all of it, bro. I got to. I mean, I don't know. I'm just stuck in that realm, man. Like, I'm
Yeah,
just
I would have to keep it 80s, and if once I got everything from the 80s, then I might branch out.
yeah. And that's what happened. I got all the 80s figures. Now I'm branching out into the 90s.
Mm. Do
Um,
you think you have all of them?
all the 80s figures.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh
got them
wow.
marked off in my book. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Only well, let me say, let me not jump the gun. For the Defiant, those two figures I don't have. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have the Defiant. Because that deal I had got other stuff instead of the Defiant because he didn't have it
mhm.
on hand, but he got
Yeah.
me on the list. So when it pops up, I'm the first guy to get it.
Right.
Um, but yeah, those are two expensive figures, man. Yeah, Battle Corp Kid Hall.
Mm.
He has a darker pants and a different top, a slightly different color top, but he got darker pants.
Does he
So
come
yeah,
with the same pistol?
no, he comes with like a little rocket launcher thing and some other type guns. So
See, that's what I'm saying. My point was that pistol, you
mm,
had to get the flag to get that pistol.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or
That's
you
why
have
that
to
pistol
find,
cost
or you have to
$50.
find somebody that selling a whole bunch of just accessories.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And they have the spots like over here in New Jersey. There's a guy who I think he runs the His Tank website,
Oh,
but
word.
also does the New Jersey Collectors Con
Hmm.
over here. And on Saturday of the con is everything, but on Sunday of the con is strictly GI Joe.
Hmm.
Strictly GI Joe, and it's been a blessing because I
Wow.
found tons of stuff. And yo, for O-Ring, crazy. I mean, they have classifieds and stuff there. There's some guys there, you know, but for the most part, if you need a vehicle and all that,
Mhm.
you can find it there. Now the Defiance, yeah, they're gonna run like $2,000, $3,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Right.
it's heavy for a flag and a Defiant, and I believe what's the other vehicle? There's another one. But I got that one. I got the General and Rolling Thunder. So
Yeah.
those are big vehicles. So yeah, they're gonna cost you some dough.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a lot of waves, man. Because I was looking at the book, like it's a lot of figures in them. Just the way, like not even counting the drivers.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's dope, man. That would be a I would trade all my classifieds for all the O rings. Yeah. So
Mhm.
what you're doing is it makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I would do it too. If I already was that heavy into the O-ring collection like you are, I would have to.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to.
Yeah.
But starting from scratch, I just felt it made more sense to do the classified because it was something that I could display better and also, like I said, just be able to collect and not feel like I'm missing out on really much.
And and truth be told, with far as I'm concerned with my collection, I started. I wasn't really collecting GI Joe O-rings like that. I mean, I always had them when I was a kid and stuff, off and on, but I
Mm,
didn't get hardcore collecting until 2020, and that's the same time Classifieds came out. So I
right.
was running neck and neck with both.
Oh, right.
But I went overdosing on the O-ring because I felt more connected to that era. So I
Right.
like an emotional attachment to it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go crazy on O-rings.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And a homie of mine, he set me on a path with a damn thunder machine. I
Mm,
took a thunder machine, and after that, I went crazy. I started getting all the figures I had, and then I
yep.
started building and building, and it's crazy now.
Yep. Yep. That's all it takes.
Yes, sir. But it's fun. It's fun. I mean, anything you collect and enjoy, and if you enjoy it for and you have a love for it, and it helps you as
Yeah.
far as stress relievers and things of that nature, go for it, man.
Mm,
Go.
yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't care if you collect coins, stamps, pottery, whatever. Go for it.
Yep.
You know what I
Might
mean?
as well.
Yeah.
Well, this shit I was reading the other day, man, got me hyped. So you
Mhm.
remember Robotech?
Yes. Yes.
Jim Lee is doing a revival of Robotech of some shit. He's got um like a new comic coming out, and Robotech has a complicated, very complex history in anime, and not only due to the purist complaints about the liberties taken with the source material, but the actual creation of the property itself is
Mm.
very convoluted in its own right. The story begins in the early 80s when American film and television production company Harmony Gold saw the potential in exporting anime.
Mm.
At that time, it was called Japanimation. It
Yeah,
wasn't called
that's what I
Animate.
that's what I knew it as, Japanimation.
Yes, it was
Yes,
called Japanimation,
yes.
and the screenwriter Carl Masek was hired to adapt the 1982 series Super Dimension Fortress Macross. It used to be that's what's called Macross,
Cross.
for the daily American syndication. But the weekly series didn't have the requisite 65 episodes required for a syndicated series. So a
Yeah.
decision was made to pair Macross with two shorter animes, 1984's Super Dimension Cavalry Southern Cross and 1983's Genesis Climber Mospita, to create an 85 episode series.
Mm. Okay.
And the dispart the you know the disparate continuities rather you know would be explained as time jumps between episodes, even though they were completely different like shows.
Yeah.
They just called them time jumps, and so people that that sort of complicated Americans' knowledge of what Robotech really was, and it would be American model kit manufacturer Revel's existing deal with the producers of Macross and a few other anime studios for a line of mecha scale model kits imported from Japan. And Revel called their two model lines Robotech Defenders and Robotech Changers.
Mm.
Revel even had a deal with DC Comics to promote Robotech Defenders as a limited series in comics. And then Revel's existing contracts prevented Harmony Gold from producing merchandise for their animated adaptation of Macross. And much of the appeal of entering animation in the 1980s was definitely merchandising, right? That's what cartoons in the 80s were all about.
Yeah.
Merchandising, selling toys, and they were basically just big commercials. And Harmony Gold was able to enter a co-licensing agreement with Revel, one that had their 85 episode series entitled Robotech. And the co-licensing deal enabled Revel's Robotech to benefit from a daily animated series promoting the brand. And so Harmony Gold to pursue other merchandising opportunities like action figures, like from Matchbox and shit like that.
Yeah.
And so as for the DC's 2-issue Robotech Defenders comics, had nothing to do with the Harmony Gold, but the continuity established by writer Andy Heffer and artist Judith Hunt would be just declared non-canon and forgotten. And so the comic did use the same Robotech logo as the Harmony. Basically, my point is that this shit is all fucked up. It's just mad mixed up. There's a whole bunch of different stuff masquerading as Robotech, and so it kind of is convoluted as to what it all is. And predating even the Revell deal was a licensing agreement from the FASA Corporation to use Maycross designs in the American tabletop game BattleTech, which was released in 1984, and that mixed in with it. And Battle Droids, another one. And Harmony Gold wasn't even aware of BattleTech's existence until after their launch of Robotech, but a subsequent lawsuit prevented BattleTech from using any of the Maycross designs. And in BattleTech lore, the now forbidden Valkyrie, Warhammer, and Marauder Mecha from Maycross are referred to as the Unseen. And another legal complication would arrive from one of the show's iconic vehicles, inspired by the McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle and the Grumman F-14 Tomcat. Maycross VFIS Super Valkyrie fighter. Is a dope, you know what I mean? And so dope, Hasbro licensed the toy version as part of its 1985 line of Transformers.
Yep.
And so then you have, and that's how that connection was made. And considering that the toy was designed by Mecha pioneer Shoji Kawamori, who also designed the characters that we now know as Optimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, Prowl, and Ratchet for Japan's Diaclone line, Transformers fans could, understandably feel as if Jetfire, fit right in. And Kawamori's time freelancing for Diaclone predates his development of Maycross, but there's noticeable, consistency in the design. So, and the character Jetfire was intended to maintain his Maycross design in both robot and vehicle mode in animation, but complications with the Japanese toy rights had the Autobot renamed Skyfire.
Yep.
Exactly, in the animated series, which also aired in Japan, and redesigned to remove obvious, the similarities to Valkyrie, just to make it look different. And Harmony Gold and Matchbox, meanwhile, couldn't release a robot to vehicle Valkyrie toy, perhaps the Robotech cartoon's signature vehicle, thanks to Hasbro's existing deal. So instead, Robotech fans had to be content with Matchbox's non-transformable version with some legally distinct design changes to make it, again, not fall under copyright. And so, or possibly they purchased the Jetfire toy, refused to slap those Autobot decals, and grouped the Jet in with their Robotech collection. Kids could do that too. But while Robotech never really reached the heights of Transformers in American popularity, the series did have a devoted following, like a cult following. Robotech has its following, and other 80s properties got comics and revamps in the early 2000s. So it seemed inevitable that Robotech would definitely join that fad. And then after bouncing around different indie publishers in the 90s, the rights landed with Jim Lee's Wildstorm in 2002. And as Harmony Gold creative director Tommy Yoon bluntly stated in the first Wildstorm release introductory text piece, he said, "Everybody's jumping on the 80s bandwagon." And they are. I mean, that's everything is 80s. Everything is 80s. So, Harmony Gold viewed that reignited enthusiasm for 80s properties as an opportunity to reboot Robotech, of course, and declaring the Wildstorm series a new canon that superseded any preceding tie-in material and was the going to be the official canon. So In 2003, Robotech number 0 from Wildstorm is a 12-page prelude to its opening From the Stars story arc. A prequel to the 1980s animated series. And the creative team for the number 0 issue indicated a desire to push Robotech as a real property, like really go in, really, like put money behind it. And Tommy Yoon from Harmony Gold, who'd previously worked with Jim Lee at Wildstorm, plotted the story arc. And Jay Faber, which is a writer who made himself famous on Generation X for Marvel, provided the dialogue. And Faber was a Robotech fan and one of the first writers of the 80s generation to enter comics in this era, leading credibility to this reboot, as a genuine passion project and not just a quickie, cash grab. Like this is really like someone who's a fan of Robotech coming out and doing some Robotech, and, not only a fan, but a real, person involved. And the art team consisted of Wildstorm's, heavy hitters: Jim Lee, Ali Garza, Carlos Dunda, Trevor Scott, like all the dopest artists at Wildstorm. And Udon Studios provided the coloring in their distinctive, like, anime sort of style. Udon had a history with Dreamwave, which pioneered that coloring technique in this era. And, the legendary letterer John Workman performed one of his final hand lettering jobs before the craft went fully digital. They used to really write the words in the bubbles. But toy comic or not, it is a very impressive looking comic. I mean, it's Wildstorm. Fucking anything Jim Lee is gonna be dope. But I got some pictures I can show you. But as established in the show's opening episodes, the story of Robotech begins when an abandoned alien battle fortress crashes to Earth. Already embroiled in World War, in the future year of 1999, way in the future, the arrival of this alien oddity named SDF-1 inspires governments to stop the war, and the global scientific community spends the next decade reconstructing this damaged ship. In 2009, in the canon, the reconstructed ship launches into space. And suddenly a race of giant alien warriors called the Zentradi forces assaulting Earth to steal the ship. And young hotshot pilot Rick Hunter is our viewpoint character, and the iconic transforming Veritech fighter plane is introduced. And issue number 0's opening narration explains the bullet points behind the concept, then veers into 3 vignettes, possibly set in different time periods. And the first few pages focus on Wolf Squadron, which is a fighter jet division of the Robotech Defense Force and serves as the United Earth forces that are fighting against the Zentradi. And this would be, the segment featuring Jim Lee's art, which is my favorite artist, which is a nice reminder of how well he draws tech and military gear, which is why he's so dope at Batman, in my opinion. But yeah, readers are only receiving hints of anything distinctly Jim Lee, though, since the artists are attempting to stay loyal to the 80s animation models. But yeah, Jack the Giant Killer Archer, a one-time mercenary who now leads a fighter crew called Wolf Squadron, is the first character identified in the story. And the plot has Wolf Squadron unaware that the aliens have captured the Mach 2 destroyed monsters, falling for a Zentradi trap. The backup arrives in the form of Skull Eater, piloting the prototype YF-4 Lightning, and he takes out the reappropriated destroyed monsters, enabling Wolf Squadron to subdue the Zentradi rebels. And then Skull Eater departs, informing Wolf Squadron that an assault team is en route in aid to aid in containment and cleanup. But yeah, this portion is largely excuse to show off the various Robotech vehicles and the transforming VF-1 Valkyrie fighters, you know, the iconic ships and everything, and on that level is perfectly fine. You know, the vehicles look cool. The aesthetic of the 1980s show is definitely well represented, and you know, there's a taste of how battle works in this world, and it really, you know, the action and everything is you see how it's gonna, you know, go. And you know, a new reader might think that Wolf Squadron leader Jack Archer is the star of this story, you know, because it starts out that way, but he drops right out of the issue, and the focus shifts to the new Maycross City, with a large narrative caption reading 2015, 1 year after the Battle of New Maycross City. And you know, it's got that really cool post-apocalyptic vibe to it, and you know, it's meant to be 1 year after the introductory scene that you know, and you know, was that opening fight scene in Battles of New Maycross City.
You know, that'd definitely be ill for a nice live action flick.
Yes.
You know, if they really want to go full steam ahead, you know.
Mm-hmm. I'll show you some pictures, man, before we wrap it up here.
Mm-hmm.
This is Robotech Zero.
Yeah, I think I had that comic at one time.
It looks dope, man. That's some of the art right there.
Yeah.
So 2015, 1 year after the Battle of New Maycross City. That's dope. That shit right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It reminds you of Star Wars in a sense.
Yep.
You know, the helmets and things. It's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah, Robotech was dope, man. It was
Look at it. That's my guy. And
Yep.
Jetfire is my favorite Transformer. I got a few versions of him. I got not the recent, but the one before that. I think it was the one from the Netflix series.
Oh wow.
And then I have the G1.
Right.
And I have the one after the G1. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Jetfire is the greatest to me. It's just like my man got caught up with the Decepticons and flipped it.
Yep.
The only one to really rock it like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dope. And he got the dopest helmet. Like I look at all the Transformers and their faces and their helmets and stuff like that. He just looks crazy dope. He looks like he's ready for battle all the time.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah. Robotech, always on point.
Mm-hmm.
Diamond Onyx, what up?
Diamond, what up? What up? The G.I. Joe 305 or 306 Skybound has given us a first look at 306. This is 305 right here with a Cobra Commander on the cover, and it's got a Televiper. It's got, who else that is? Those are all Televipers in the background. It's got some regular Vipers and then a Techno Viper.
They had the alternate, the variant with what's her name?
Moreno. Yeah.
And then Baroness. It looks crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get your Cobra Commander, the last issue?
This one.
Is that the one? No, that's not the one. That's number 3, ain't it?
Oh, that's 3, yeah.
Yeah. Number 4 is the one where Nemesis Enforcer is tracking Cobra Commander down on the cover.
Why the fuck did they give me this shit? They gave me 4. Hang on, man. Why is this?
Hold on, let me go and grab it. Hold on, I gotta put on some lights and stuff. Hold on. So you can see the cover.
Yeah, man, I don't. They fucked up. They fucked up and gave me the wrong book.
Yeah, there's two different versions of the Cobra Commander cover. There's one where I think he's in the jungle, and then there's this one that I thought was dope when he was collecting the Energon. Hold on, let me get this off my camera. All right, let me put on the light over here. So I'm gonna take it out the plastic so you can see what.
No, I haven't read this one. You talking about this one in it, right?
Hold on, let me see. No.
It doesn't look like you have an app named NBC. You can search for it in the App Store.
What the hell? Hold on. I hate.
Hi, I'm Siri.
No, you can't help me. Stop, Siri.
I'm not sure I understand.
End. Why does this happen to me? See?
Okay.
You see it, Reno?
That's number 4. Yeah, nah, they didn't have that one, but I haven't read this one yet. This is number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't have that one, but I guess it'll be. I guess it's at my comic shop. I guess I gotta pick it up.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Nemesis and Forces. Wow.
Yeah, I just picked this one up when I went there the other day, but I guess I'm going back this coming Saturday, so I will. I guess I'll be getting number 4 then.
Yeah. I gotta get into this when I have a little bit of time. I finish it off.
But this one got Nemesis Enforcer in it.
Yeah. He's introduced after. I think. What the fuck is this? Excuse me for a second, bro.
You good? Happy 420, y'all. Cheers. It's 420 all day. Yo, I was scared for a minute though, dog. I was like, what? I thought that this was a variant of a comic that I got before. Because if 4 is out, then why am I picking up 3? But nah, I didn't read this one yet. And I got Duke 4 with Rock and Roll and
yeah, that was a great book.
Yeah, I'm trying to
that
see.
That series was great. That Duke story was heavy.
Oh, this is dope. It got
Yeah. My man blowing shit up.
What's his name's
Iron
Scrap Iron, yeah.
And like always, they're basing those characters off of classifieds to tie it in.
Yep.
So when you look at Nemesis Enforcer, the way it's
figures gonna look,
that's where they're going off of.
Yep, that's why I love these comics, because like Mercer, they're giving us sneak peeks as to what these figures are gonna be.
Yeah,
and I really hope we get a classified Cobra Commander with the trench coat.
Yeah,
and a hat, and a fucking hat. But yeah, dog.
You know, that's a mixture from the what was it that the one where it was only 4 of them. It was kind of like the A-Team. They was traveling. Oh, what was it called? Not Spy Patrol. Not Spy. Was it Spy Patrol? No.
Dreadnoks.
No. Be right back. I got the damn movie here. Shit.
Here goes the Dreadnoks. All right, so I guess this means we're getting Xandar next, which I know we are, which is dope. Xandar was definitely a dope figure when I was a kid.
The Renegades. That Cobra Commander that we got in this comic, he's based off the Renegades Cobra Commander.
Oh.
The G.I. Joe Renegades.
Okay.
And, you know, with the trench coat, because that's what he had in the Renegades. He had the trench coat and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, the smiley face look crazy.
Yeah, they painted a bloody smiley face on him and shit.
Yep.
But yeah, this is definitely no question. That's the classified Ripper, Buzzer, I mean,
Yeah.
and classified Torch.
Zarana, all of them.
Zarana, and then Xandar. So Xandar's the one. Xandar's coming next. That's the lineup right there.
Yep.
That's Buzzer, Ripper, Xandar, Zarana, and Torch. So
Yep.
Xandar is coming next. Road Pig is coming. Eventually, they'll do him, and I assume they'll put Thrasher with the Thunder Machine, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But this is dope, bro. If he, if that's how he looks for classified, I'm happy.
Yeah. That's how he's gonna look.
I'm happy.
Yeah. But they call him. They can't call him Nemesis Enforcer. They call him something else Enforcer.
Yeah, or something Nemesis, right?
I think it's
it's something Nemesis. It's damn, what they call it? I have to look it up.
Oh, I get it right quick.
All right. What are you waiting for? Attack. But yeah, it's dope how they mix Cobra La. How they had Cobra La in here, right off the top.
Yeah, that Cobra La shit is wild.
I want a Pythona. I want a Pythona classified. That's what I would love to see. Overall, Pythona is a dope looking character to me. I think Pythona would make an amazing classified figure. Globulus, not so much because his big snake body, but they could do it. I mean, they could do it if it was more bendable. The only thing I hated about that figure back in the day was the snake body. You couldn't bend it and pose it. It was just always long, so you could never stand him up or anything. It was a very poorly thought out toy.
Yeah, they call him Nemesis Immortal.
Nemesis Immortal, right? Yeah,
which I think is some bullshit, man.
It is what it is. Like, I'm not like hella mad about it. It doesn't bother me or anything, but it does suck that they couldn't use the real name.
They could have named him Nemesis something else instead of Immortal, because he's not immortal.
Yeah, he's not immortal, so I don't know what that's about. That's a.
They couldn't come up with another name.
Like Enforcer, like a synonym for Enforcer. You couldn't think of a synonym for Enforcer?
Mm-hmm. Nemesis. Maybe they are right. Try to find something like Nemesis Guardian or some shit like that. Or
yeah.
Some, because he was the guardian of Globulus, like that was his dude,
right?
His henchman and big man,
Here goes some synonyms. You got Nemesis disciplinarian. You got Nemesis autocrat. Nemesis oppressor. That could have been cool.
Wow. Word.
Nemesis tyrant. Nemesis taskmaster. Nemesis Fuhrer. Nemesis overlord. That could have worked.
Yeah, Nemesis or Fuhrer, but
yeah, overlord, warlord.
Warlord. Nemesis warlord.
Nemesis warlord could have worked. Yeah. Nemesis sovereign. Nemesis tyrannizer. Tyrannizer. Nemesis tycoon. Nemesis czar. But yeah, they could have did warlord.
Just left it at Nemesis and leave it at that.
Nemesis would have been fine. Yeah, that would have been fine.
Nemesis,
that would have been fine.
Yeah.
But we'll now have to figure out why he's called immortal. It's But yeah, the G.I. Joe 306 will have actual snake eyes on the cover, and I think like some dead frag vipers. and then I guess it's gonna feature. Oh, one of the variant covers will have Roadblock and Zartan. I really like that.
Ooh, that's gonna be nice.
It
It's
is
gonna
really
be
dope.
nice.
Here, I'll show it to you.
Yo, they should do a homage cover like they did with Zartan and what's his name? Okay. All right. They did it like that. They should have did
Yeah,
it
I
different.
know. I know.
If they did the homage cover to when Zartan had gun hole in the clutch, the one I used for my t-shirt design.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yo, this one looks
This
serious.
reminds me of some Frank Miller shit, some Sin City.
Yeah, see, I gotta get that. I has to have that.
Yes, sir. And there's the color version.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get those. Yeah. It's gonna happen. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Those are the inside. Oh my god. See, that's what I'm talking about. I like comics with great covers and the insides. Like
Inside
even
gotta be dope.
and the insides can be covers too if they wanted to break
Yeah.
them down. Like,
Yeah.
come on now. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like to me, the art is just as important as the story.
Yeah.
It's a comic book. It's not a book. It's a comic book. That's why I don't understand these indie comic. Like I get indie comics having shitty art because it's expensive to find an artist. I get that. And so for indie comics, they have an excuse. But for Marvel, fucking DC, Image, y'all have no excuse for having shitty art.
But you know what? That's the deal with Marvel and DC. They're hiring indie guys, and these guys are working 1099. These are not like full-time employees. A lot of them are just 1099 workers
Yeah.
at some point. So it's like they get what they pay for, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they get a real stellar artist, they got to put him under a contract, and he got to get top-notch money. He or she, I should say. You know what I mean? They got to get top-notch money for their skills and stuff like that. So,
Hell yeah.
So to avoid all that, you know, sometimes Marvel and DC go cheap, which hurts them, you know, in the long run.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Because I remember when they commission art and stuff like that, you do the cover and the inside. Like, so it's all one. So you're the artist for the inside and the out. So
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks crazy.
Yeah, this new Transformers 1, it's a movie. It's like a, what do you call it?
Art looks crazy. Come on now.
Let me see.
Ryan types wildness or some real anime. You know?
Dog. I'm gonna see if I can find the trailer real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I had peeped out the trailer. Yeah, it's tight.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I've seen it on Casual Toy Chat on his show on Mr. Casual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was cool. Definitely. Yeah, there you go, right there. You might want to hit it with the speed too, because I don't know how they're gonna act with maybe if it's maybe you can play it without getting hit up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about it while we play it. But why can't I find the trailer? This ain't the trailer.
Oh yeah, those are the two voices of Megatron and Orion Pack.
Okay, I see. They're gonna lead into it.
Yeah. Oh, he got dreads all of a sudden? What the fuck?
Yeah.
The fuck happened to him? Paperboy.
Yeah.
You know what? We are so screwed. Thought you weren't told.
So it's like a young Megatron and a young Optimus Prime.
Yeah. So you know, Optimus Prime was Orion Pax before he became Prime.
Right.
And I forget who Megatron is. He's Mega or Tron something.
Something Tron, yeah.
And they used to be, you know, they basically remember from the Netflix series when Optimus and Prime they had a discussion and they was talking about, yeah, you know, when we was in the mines.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so that's based off of this. This is before Optimus was Prime and before Megatron was, you know. Yeah. But I can't wait for this.
He was Orion Pax.
Yeah. I can't wait for this, man.
Before he was Megatron.
There's a reason no one goes to the surface.
He was D16.
D16.
Yeah.
Why'd you bring jetpacks?
Yo, it's dope. We used to be best friends, man. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's crazy. On some Magneto Professor X shit. But you would never know it. Like Magneto and Professor X, you know they was cool, but you would never know Megatron ever had any love for Optimus Prime. Not by watching the cartoons, I don't think.
Yeah. They never got into that history. I think in the comic books they did, but not in movie format or anime format.
Yeah.
You have proven yourself worthy. Take these and access your full potential.
They're really going all in with this. This is gonna be real great.
We are more than meets the eye.
Haha. More than meets the eye.
How do we use these things?
You know who that is?
They don't know how to transform yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Bumblebee, right?
Bumblebee. Yeah.
He's also one of my favorites too, Bumblebee. He's one of the greatest warriors.
Yeah, Bumblebee's dope.
Mm-hmm. Yo.
I mean, you know, I never got super into it, but Soundwave is always my favorite just because he turned into like a boombox and that was just reminding me. Like I remember in the 80s, like my older cousin having that one, and you know, when his chest popped open and he had the little tapes that turn into shit. I was all in, man. Yeah. And then his voice, Soundwave's voice on the cartoon also was the dopest voice to me.
Yeah, he was the only one.
Only one that sounded like that, dog. And
guns.
oh, that shit was awesome.
Yeah. Ravage eject. Rumble eject.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks crazy.
Yeah. yeah.
Nice,
yo, they wildin'. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's dope. It's dope.
Yeah.
They showed them before they turn into fucking semi trucks and shit, because it always bothered me as a kid. I was like, why would aliens come here looking like our vehicles? It don't make sense. Like, how the fuck does that happen? Yeah. But yeah, I like how they broke it down.
In the Michael Bay movies,
yeah,
he broke that fourth wall barrier, or whatever you want to call it, by showing how they can mimic any vehicle and stuff, even toaster ovens.
Yeah, cell phones and shit.
Yeah,
that was I liked how he did that too.
Yeah, man. A lot of good stuff, man.
A lot of good stuff coming. I mean, it looked pretty good. That I think the trailer. I mean, it starts out with Orion Pax and D16, who are reprimanded by this superior of some sort for something they did, and their punishment is showing them get acquainted with B127, who's trying to come up with snazzier names beyond his numerical designation, and through all these several misadventures and shit, the Cybertron's underground area, they also meet the female Cybertronian Alita 1, and then all while wondering about and fearing what takes place on the planet's surface. And that's sort of what they're wondering, and they're worried, like, what's going on the surface. And upon proving themselves worthy, they're gifted with what appeared to be some like transformation cogs by Alpha Trion, and allows them to finally transform for the first time.
Yeah.
And into their alternate modes. So we saw that in the trailer, and unfortunately, their path on the surface of Cybertron doesn't appear to be very easy. They definitely look like they were getting into some shit. They got new threats, because obviously Megatron won't be the bad guy. So there's other Cybertronians like Starscream, Shockwave, Soundwave that we see in there moving around and shit. And it's unknown how much of their usual characterizations we'll see, or if they're gonna be, their original selves. It would be dope if Soundwave sound like Soundwave. That would be dope.
Yeah. But I do know how it all kicks off is Cybertron is like a two society system.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have, just like here, you got the rich, you got the poor. You know what I'm saying? So that's technically what it's like on that during that time on that planet or whatever, Cybertron. But we're gonna see a lot of similarities to our world and theirs. I mean, that's how they hook up these movies anyway. So we're gonna be like, oh, word. And then we see who gets more shine, whose jealousy comes through, and it's a how you say humanistic approach to film with it. So I'm glad it's lighter than dark, because like getting was dark movies. Transformers, besides Bumblebee the movie. Bumblebee it was just ridiculously dope.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be.
I think it comes out September. September, so that's dope. It'll be in the theaters in September. So not that long away.
Yeah, man, they should have dropped it in August, man. Why are you gonna make these kids go to school and then now they gotta go?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See, and then this is the thing they don't think in marketing. You should supposed to drop that in the summer, so that way you can sell merchandise all summer, because they ain't got nothing to do but to buy, right? While they're in school, parents are worried about buying school clothes and materials.
Right.
So they ain't got time for movie merch and stuff like that. So
you know
what I mean? I don't know.
Well, at the same time that movie's coming out, this is coming out, The Wild Robot. And let's check that real quick. Some Wall-E type shit. It's like a toy robot. Some shit.
Was he dropped on the planet?
It's probably going to be no talking in this movie.
Okay. It reminds me of, what was this?
Like
movie?
Wall-E or some shit.
Yeah,
I don't know. Or some. It looks pretty dope.
Yeah.
It looks pretty dope. I mean, it's definitely popular and people are hyped about it. But it's called The Wild Robot. You can check it out on the Universal Pictures channel.
Mhm.
Sometimes to survive, we must become more than we were programmed to be.
Facts.
Hmm.
Facts.
Hmm.
Yeah, The Wild Robot.
Work's trying to come back, huh? Okay.
Yeah, trying to do a little something. Yeah. The Wild, and so either film might be moved to keep away, a lot of competition. So it'll just be those probably at the time, and Transformers will not be released on any streaming platform at the same time as the theatrical run. So it's coming out in the theater only.
Okay.
Meaning that fans who want to see the film when it comes out, you got to go to the theater or you got to watch it on the bootleg. But as a Paramount production, Transformers 1 will release on Paramount Plus when it does leave theaters and hit streaming. So there's no set date for when this will happen, and it will likely be decided by the movie's box office performance, however good it does, in the theaters. A good guide to go by in this case would be the 2023 film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Released in August. It was available to stream on Paramount Plus a month and a half later. And it was very successful. So
Yeah.
if it's very successful, we'll look at it coming, hitting streaming about a month and a half after theaters.
It's funny how if you relate like a lot of stuff we used to watch back in the day, like all the movies we used to watch back in the day, it took a year to see it on VHS.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was like a year to see it on VHS, a year to see it after that on the premium channel, then another year to see it on network TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like every year it would hit a different level.
Now we're talking weeks and months.
Yes. Because, back in the day, it took that long for them to do that shit. Now they could do it all at the same time if they wanted to.
Yeah. But then the consumption. Remember in the 80s, they talk about consumption a lot. People was buying, the economy was booming at certain points. But now we're at the same threshold or the same atmosphere of it, but we're consuming so much so fast. Where back then we took time to consume and understand what we were consuming. Now people just don't understand what they're consuming. They're just doing it just to do it. Like,
Right.
It's alarming it, at best.
Yeah.
But at least we got one. It's gonna be a great one. Great movie. That and Planet of the Apes. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes looks good as fuck.
Yeah, that's the sleeper for the summer.
Trying to catch a glimpse of Shockwave and Starscream and Soundwave.
Hold on. If you run that right back a little bit.
What?
When you seen that guy
back here?
No. There was something before that.
This guy?
Yeah. Isn't that who that looked like Omega, not Omega Supreme? Yeah.
That's
that threw them in the thing.
Yeah, it's something. His name is something Trios or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I read his name. It's not, what's it called? But where the fuck is Soundwave? Because I didn't catch them. But they're in it. They're in it somewhere.
crazy.
Yeah.
You're like, where'd my head go?
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
that, you know who those guys are? The Quintessons.
Quintessons, yeah, that made the Transformers.
Yeah.
This I think that's Starscream
Mhm.
right there.
Wow.
Because he's got like big wings and shit.
Yeah.
That's Shockwave, I think. Right
Yeah.
there. That's Shockwave. Yeah, that's a cool ass Shockwave. I'm waiting to see my boy Soundwave though.
Yo, they got
that's
that.
Starscream.
Mm.
I don't know who that is with
The spider, isn't that the chick with the spider? What's her name? That's the female from
yeah. I don't know about the spider one.
mm.
Damn, that was Starscream.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Starscream was right there.
Yeah.
Coming down off the throne.
And there's my boy on his left, and there's Shockwave on the right. There's Soundwave on the left.
Oh, they look crazy.
Hell yeah.
Yo, they look crazy.
Fuck. Starscream just coming down all pimp.
Yeah, like he's the leader.
Mm-hmm.
He probably was the leader.
He do be the leader, yeah.
Yo. I like that.
Man, they flashed them boys on the screen real quick.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna have Shockticons in there? That'd be crazy.
Hell yeah. Bomb. He's on a throne, Starscream. He's coming down from a throne. You know, King, he was always trying to be the king and shit.
This throne.
Yeah.
Yo, they really used this throne. You see the back of it? He was, it's crazy. It's tight.
Oh, wait, what throne? You had the throne?
Yeah.
Let me see.
This came with the coronation.
Oh, the king, what's it called?
Yeah, Starscream coronation.
Yes, yeah, King Starscream, yeah.
I have him somewhere. I mean, I like my Transformers too. I just never got crazy deep into them when I was little. I loved the television show. It was just phenomenal, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, where the fuck am I on it?
Yeah.
Where did I put my Transformers?
Yeah, but I want to see Ravage. I want to see how if he got the discs or they because they can't be cassettes then because they didn't have cassettes on Cybertron. So are they like discs or orbs or something?
Just some kind of cartridge of some sort?
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy sick. I'm hyped for it, man. Wilson. Oh, there. Yeah, that's what I was saying. The one with the teeth was a Shockticon. Oh. There you go. Grunt.
Yeah, Grunt hanging on the side.
Yeah, rock and roll inside, sitting. Breaker on the other side. Yeah, there you go. Word.
You know what I'm saying? Could throw Duke on the
Skywalker Thundercracker. Yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Stu, where you at, bro? Did you go out of the country or out of the state? Where you at?
Stu. Ironhide. Yeah, Ironhide would be crazy. Yeah, there you go. You chromed them out.
Chromed it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's chromed out.
Yeah. Yeah. See, if Hasbro was smart, they would have did like 3 packs, 4 packs of the. Even if they used that same thing from Marvel Legends and just added a little bit of different pops and touches, they would have got away with it. People would have still bought the damn bikes because they know the Dreadnoks is coming. So it's like they don't think, man.
Stu, did you see her? Scarlett, bro. She looks good. Well, y'all, that is it's going on 2 hours. Yeah, we about to call it a night, man. We started promptly at 7 and it is 9. It's been 2 hours, well, 2 and 11. But yeah, man, I'm watching this movie Civil War too. That's been pretty dope so far.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out too.
Yeah.
You hit me with the link to the spot, so I'm gonna definitely check that out.
Right.
Just to see some different predictive programming that they plugged up in there.
Mm-hmm. yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, yeah, it is Saturday night, so we'll be back on here Monday, y'all. And yeah, Stu is out of the area, so he'll be back probably on the next Monday. He'll be here not in 2 days Monday, but the Monday after that. Stu will be back for that. But yeah, peace, y'all. We'll see y'all. Y'all be safe and all of that. And
indeed, safe.
Yeah, man. We'll see y'all Monday. Peace. Be safe. One.